Welcome to the Watchers. Hi, I'm Victoria Bird from Killer Shot Films.
And I'm Kevin Marable from theblackscript.com.
Hey, Kevin.
What's going on, Victoria? How are you?
I'm really good. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, so we're jumping on today to talk about a new film put out by Netflix that we both were very excited about and binged. But first, let's take care of some business. We are, of course, the Watchers, and we are now on Patreon. So please, if you would, we're on YouTube as well, but we're also on Patreon. So if you could go over there and give us the support, right, Kev?
That's right. Definitely go and support.
It helps keeps the lights on. And you can also go to our website at thewatcherspodcast.com. So there's been so much news lately around Netflix and its acquisitions and things like that. But what I was really excited about was the new Knives Out mystery dropping.
Yes. Third installment, Knives Out mystery, Wake Up Dead Man.
Give us the cast rundown. There's a lot of people in this one.
Yeah, I love the fact that they have an amazing ensemble every time they do this. We have Daniel Craig, who's obviously the main character. He's in all three. He plays Detective Benoit Blanc, Josh O'Connor as Father Judd, Josh Brolin as Monsignor Jefferson Wicks, Glenn Close as Martha Delacroix, Mila Kunis as Geraldine Scott, Jeremy Renner as Dr. Nat Sharp, Kerry Washington as Vera Draven, Andrew Scott as Lee Ross, Kaylee Spaney as Simone Vivane, Daryl McCormick as Cy Draven, and Thomas Hayden Church as Samson Holt.
That's a lot of star power.
Yeah. A lot of star power. And I think it's just, to the fact that the other two were wildly successful, I think they're able to pull together these huge ensemble casts every single time. And that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah. And I think it was better than the second one, right? Glass Onion. Yeah, I did.
Okay. I think Glass Onion is my favorite, honestly.
Is it? Okay. So hold that thought. And but nobody's going to beat the first one because it was it was just so astonishingly good. That okay, so we already have a dispute.
That's all right.
That's all right. I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, I personally like Glass Onion. I love the cast. I love the story, the mystery behind it, even the location and how they brought everything, the mystery together. I thought all of that combined was well done. And the writing is always well done, in my opinion. To be able to write a mystery, a whodunit, and spend as much time as you spend on each character to try to figure out, okay, could it have been this person, could it have been this person. And then to have Detective Benoit Blanc solve it all and to be able to write from that perspective as well. That's a talent within itself.
I mean, for sure. I mean, there is something. There's a high level of talent going on here. We can agree, right?
Right.
Let me just clarify. I liked Glass Onion a lot, but in the pecking order for me, I preferred this murder mystery a bit more, and so that's why this film gets a little bit of a higher. Okay. A little higher reach. And I'm going to tell you one thing that also, to me, there was an actual emotional story arc, right? With Josh's character, the priest, and with Daniel Craig's character, right? There were these two emotional arcs around faith and spirituality and purpose.
Right.
And I really enjoyed. The second one, the Glass Onion, the story around the betrayal and that just made me mad. You know what I mean? I wanted to bust up that Glass Onion. That just made me angry. Now I didn't. That's not to say that the second one wasn't told well. It was beautifully told, and it was a great story. I believe this is called, I looked it up just to make sure I'm not wrong, so I don't have to pretend I didn't look it up. It's called The Locked Room Mystery, right? So this sort of like, it's very classic storytelling, right? How did this room that
Happen.
nobody, yeah, how did this murder where nobody could get in, nobody was seen going in, the person was alone, how
Right.
did it happen, right?
It's good because every story is different. It's not like, oh,
Yes.
this is the same old thing. And I love that they all have different themes, perspectives, and the story just doesn't. And to me, it just never gets boring. I love a good whodunit murder mystery type of thriller.
What did you like about the movie?
Well, one, I like the story. I didn't know where it was going at first, and obviously, you see "Wake Up, Dead Man." The title sounds interesting to me, and I wondered why it was "Wake Up," not comma "Dead Man." It was more so
Right.
"Wake Up, Dead Man" just altogether. So I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? And so I was like, does that mean that somebody wakes up? I didn't know it was going to be in the premise of a church and spirituality until I
Mm-hmm.
pressed play. And then I went back and looked at the poster art and I said, oh, I should have paid more attention to this.
I
But
didn't. I didn't look at the trailer. I didn't. I went in completely cold.
well, I knew I was going to watch it from the jump once they
Yeah.
announced it, regardless of what it was about. I'm a fan of Rian Johnson. I like his other movies, and he just does a really good job of making these work. So I knew I was going to watch it regardless. So I didn't really fully pay attention and put a lot of weight into knowing all of the ins and outs ahead of time. I just pressed play.
Yeah.
So I ended up enjoying it. I love the cast that they had this year.
Yeah.
I was excited to see Kerry Washington in this.
They were, some of them were a little wasted. They were like almost too big for the
Right.
roles, right?
I thought that at first with Kerry Washington. I still kind
I
of feel
felt that
that
with
way.
most of them.
Yeah, I still kind of feel that way, but knowing that she was going to be in the film, that was my initial excitement, just knowing that she was going to be in this one. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know what her role was going to be. But then maybe the first half of the film, I was like, okay, they're really not showing Kerry Washington that much. It's really not, I'm wondering, like, was this a wasted casting? But
Yeah.
as the story progressed, then she had more of a role in the film, and you kind of understood why the story was what it was.
Okay, you are not going to believe the story I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
I was leaving my apartment today. I go down. I always have one of these. I go down in the elevator. I'm walking out of the building, out of the lobby, and I see this guy walking just a little ahead of me. And I go, is that the guy from Netflix, Knives Out? So I walk up to him. I said, excuse me. Well, actually, that's not true. He stops for the light, and I
Yeah.
walk up behind him, and I look at him, and I go, are you the guy from the Netflix special? And he's like,
The son?
Daryl McCormick.
Wow.
What a beautiful black man, first of all. And he's Irish, so he's got a little Irish accent.
Oh, okay.
And I said, congratulations. It was spectacular work. But okay, so that's my little story. But to get back to the cast, as far as like, Andrew Scott, Thomas Hayden Church, right? Kerry Washington, Jeremy Renner, who's literally like the mayor of Kingston.
Right.
Okay. Josh Brolin, Thanos. Okay.
Josh he's been on a run this year too. He's been
my man is acting. He's acting. Yeah. His hair was all wild Jesus and okay, so let's make this clear. We're gonna have spoilers from here on out. Okay. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, don't listen to anything more.
Pause this.
We're gonna spoil it. Go watch it, please. I don't want anybody to be spoiled to this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The one thing that worked for me as far as like having this level of talent as the other actors was that I thought, well, they must be the killer. They must be the killer. Carrie must be the killer. So-and-so must be the killer. Oh,
that's what I love about it.
So that worked.
Yes.
Right? And Glenn Close, who is ultimately, right, the baddie, the killer, was playing it so villainous,
Yeah.
and that I thought she couldn't be. She couldn't be.
Well, there was several times where I was like, "No, she's the killer."
You did? You figured it out?
Well, no, early on, just how she would just pop out of nowhere.
That was kind of funny.
She would just pop out of nowhere. She she ran the books. She had control of everything. She had all of the knowledge of the church from the time she was a little girl all the way up until her old age. And so right there tells you she has a lot of knowledge, all the people who have come and gone from the church. She knows all of the history of the church. She was what kept the church alive, honestly.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, she definitely has to have something going on. And she just always has that look of, I don't want to say like a look of guilt, but it's written on her face somehow, some way. I can't really quite say how.
Yeah.
She's a very strong actress in everything that she does. And in my head, I was leaning towards her being the person who did it first. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe it's Josh Brolin. And then from Josh Brolin, once things started to unwind and get out of control, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's Father Judd, and he just doesn't realize. Maybe he's been throwing everybody for a loop, and it was him all along. But
I was convinced 3 times that it was him. I was convinced that it was every single person, maybe except for the chick in the wheelchair. Her character seemed a little like a throwaway character. They didn't flesh that out. I read something where Johnson, the writer director, said Ryan Johnson said that it was the hardest script to write, which I could see why that would be.
Yeah, that's not easy writing right there.
And I think that they really pulled off all the motivations, you know what I mean? And all the second watches, like when it doesn't fall apart, when you watch it for the second time, and what the priest thinks happened and what really happened.
Right.
And then what we thought happened.
Right.
And what really happened. Like, I like that it kept sort of like changing,
it's really like film sleight of hand.
Yeah.
And you got to really pay attention to catch the trick, but you don't really get to catch the trick. They have to show you trick, and then once you see it, you're like, okay.
It was between like faith versus reason, right?
Yeah.
And Benoit was like reason, and Father Judd
was faith.
Right, was faith.
But Josh Monsignor Wicks, he was like, lean into your sin, but see me at the confessional.
He was nuts. What a great character.
Yeah. And every day he would just torment Father Judd with his
dalliances. I was like, dear Lord, dalliances with himself. Dear Lord. I was like, oh my. And then when he was like, shake his hand, and he's like, he's like, oh my God, this is so funny. It was a scene when he's like, it has to be about forgiveness. It has to be about, compassion. Right. And then he was always being pulled into the anger, right? Pulled into the judgment, pulled into a sort of baseline reaction, a lizard brain reaction, right? Yeah. And then he would have reflection. The one thing that I thought that was kind of like maddening was him constantly wanting to confess.
Oh, right.
I was like, shh. If you didn't do it, what are you doing?
Hey,
Did he not know he didn't do it? That's why I was confused.
That's why, and that's what led me to think, okay, well, maybe it is him, but maybe it's not. I think that was just part of putting that mystery and kind of, swaying your mind.
But wouldn't you know if you killed somebody?
Well, there's a lot of movies where, it's not to the very end where they realize like either they were, they had blacked out and they did it, or they were under some sort of I wouldn't say, not paralysis isn't the right word, but under some sort of spell, or like, the memory was gone, or they trapped that memory away.
Like they were in a fugue state.
Yeah, and so
that's a Breaking Bad reference, by the way. You remember Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, but I didn't think that he would do that. I didn't think that they.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And then when they get into that argument in the woods, and you see the dark figure with the light post as is just in the background, they're walking, but you don't know who that dark figure was. At first, I thought it might have been Glenn Close, because she's always wearing black, and you can't really see them. And then it goes to the tomb, and then the tomb opens up, and who we think is Monsignor comes out, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought he died.
Right.
and but you see that shadowy figure again with the light, the lamp, and then they go into the woods, and then you see Father Judd follow after. Those are all things to mislead you.
Yeah.
And then even when you go down into the basement and you see Monsignor slumped over in the vat of acid.
Yeah.
And then they drink.
Where's that come from? Where's that acid come from? So that's in Jeremy Renner's character, right? Like,
yeah.
I looked at Dr. Nat Sharp.
Right. So he's a doctor. I don't know what he was using it for, but he's a doctor. And
I thought the ex-wife was going to be in there. I was like, is the wife in there? That's what I thought.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting a body to be inside that vat of acid. I thought it was Monsignor again, and it had just, that's where he died at.
And I even liked how at the end, when Glenn Close's character is like, like the old lady at the Titanic, she drops the stone. I mean, let me explain something to you. I get it. I get it. That poisonous apple,
And I should have thought of that all along. They kept calling it Eve's apple, as a play on the opposite of Adam's apple.
Yeah. But use the money for good.
Right.
I don't know. It's the same problem with Titanic. I'm like, why she got to throw the stone in the water? I don't even. What are we doing? We're throwing away money? We're hiding money? I'm confused.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wouldn't be me. That's all I gotta say. Wouldn't be
me. The stone, he didn't sell it or anything.
I know, he stuck it in the heart of the Christ figure.
Right. And I think those are all parts of the clever storytelling, and to be able to weave all of that in, and the viewer not really get lost, but just more intrigued or more immersed into, okay, well, how did this happen?
Yeah, I have to say that it was generally a pleasure to disappear into this movie.
Yeah.
And it was. I'm really looking forward to the next one.
Yes, there's already talks of it. Ryan says he doesn't have a clear-cut idea as to what he's going to write about, but there's ideas floating around.
Is there anything else you wanted to share about the movie?
No, that's it. I think it was watchable.
It's possible. Like, I really was watching this mystery going, I don't know how they did this. Well, I won't see you till after the new year. So have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Please pop over to Patreon if you can, support us.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Visit our website. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Our website has how you can reach out to us. Let us know what you want us to watch, and we'll happily watch it. Yeah. And thanks, everybody.
Yep. See you guys.